guests into the ballroom. Mrs. Rachel Blanks. Mrs. Rachel Blanks. Mrs. Shirley Carrington. Mrs. Shirley Carrington. Mr. Seben Dixon. Mr. Gene Downing. Mr. Gene Downing.
Then he flew away with the death of love.
Ms. Emma James Fountain.
There will be no love as I
Like that pageant wave, Ms. Fountain. Ms. Sika Rose Green. How appropriate that the former queen of orange and green would, of course, adorn orange. Mr. John L. Green. Ms. Cheryl Harris Booker. Dr. Thomas Haynes Jr. Ms. Neria Hadley Hudnall. Mr. Milton Jones. Attorney Nicole Jones. Mr. Thomas Jones. Mr. Don Jordan.
He flew away. The death of
Mr. Oscar Joyner. Mr. Rufus Montgomery. Ms. Sonia Jackson Miles. The Honorable Bobby Powell. Ms. Mary Smith. Mr. Victor Gaines. Miss Tawana M. Ward. Mr. Steve Legendary Lewis. you'll learn more about him a little bit later. And ladies and gentlemen, the Queen, the chair of the gala, please welcome the one and only Ms. Doris Hicks. Thank you so much, Queen Doris. We'll be hearing from you a little bit later. Let's give a round of applause to all of the honorees tonight. We'll be hearing a little bit more from them later in the gala program. We begin now with greetings from the Texas Alumni Leadership. Please welcome from the Houston chapter, President Brian Moses, followed by Ms. Joya Bupkin from the Greater Austin Alumni Chapter.
Good evening. Good evening. You got a little more energy. Good evening. Good evening. I know we started late, we gotta still keep it going. All right. Dear esteemed alumni, friends, and supporters, it is with great excitement and enthusiasm that the Florida A&M University Houston Alumni Chapter welcomes you to the 2015 Distinguished Alumni Awards Gala. This evening is dedicated to recognizing the extraordinary accomplishments of FAMU alumni who have achieved excellence in their chosen professions, made meaningful contributions to Florida A&M University and their local communities. Through their remarkable achievements in their professional and civic life, they have brought honor to themselves and our prestigious university. For decades, the FAMU National Alumni Association has demonstrated its commitment to the matriculation of current and future students by raising scholarship funds to support their endeavors. Tonight is no different. Our hope is that contributions from tonight's event will empower our future leaders to conquer new heights that showcase quality education at Florida A&M University. Of course, the success of tonight's gala will not be possible without the dedication of our gala committee. We commend each volunteer who has served on this committee and graciously shared their time and talent to make this event spectacular. On behalf of the FAMU National Alumni Association Houston Chapter, please enjoy this remarkable evening. You are in good company amidst fellow rattlers and friends. We hope to leave you inspired by the achievements of our Distinguished Alumni Award honorees and even more proud of our alma mater. Thank you.
Good evening, Rattlers. Good evening. Good evening, Rattlers. Good evening. I am Joya Wilson Bufkin, and I am the president of the Austin Alumni Chapter. And we want to send you big greetings and welcome you to Texas, where we do everything big. We hope this is a momentous occasion. We're here to celebrate 24 extraordinary alumni, but please, all other alumni members and friends, please know that you're just as important to the success and the continuation of Florida Agricultural and Mechanical University. Without each and every one of us in this room doing our part, FAMU would not be able to continue to excel and soar and exhibit the excellence with caring that we've all come to know from our days on the Hill, or even if you paid those tuition checks. So we ask that you just continue to support FAMU in tremendous ways with time, gifts, talents, and most of all, money. Money is what will continue to propel Florida A&M University to the pinnacle of which it has not reached yet, but yet where it is going. Thank you very much for joining us here in Texas, and we look forward to continuing to be able to serve you all until the end of the convention.
Thank you so very much, Texas alumni leaders. I feel welcome, and I've had a great time, haven't you? You don't act like you had a great time. You're too cute to say so tonight. You all look very attractive, beautiful, dashing. I love to see folks for black tie events, so we're going to have a great time. At this time, we're going to have words of inspiration, and meditation, invocation, and blessing of the food by Pastor Carl Miner from the Church of Grace Fellowship. Please let us welcome him.
Shall we bow in a time of prayer? Heavenly Father, we thank you for being the giver of life and provider of health and strength. We pause on this auspicious occasion to celebrate what you have done in our lives and to thank you for this Florida A&M family, its presidents, its board of regents, its distinguished alumni, and all the boards and committees that make this alumni's continual success possible. Thank you for the 125 years of providing access and enhancing opportunities for student and alumni across this community and around the world. Lord, help us tonight to always remember that all things are possible with you, and without you, nothing is possible that we've accomplished on this day. We give you praise and glory for the impact of each of our alums, that what they have made and they continue to make in their place of business, in their place of impact. Bless now the remainder of our night, and may you provide continuous stimulus for us to live better, for us to give back to our university better, for us to support the institution stronger. Thank you for those who worked tirelessly to make this event happen on tonight. And thank you, Lord, for your abiding presence with us always. Now, Lord, we ask that you bless the food that has been provided for us tonight. May it give us life, health, strength, and nourishment for our bodies. It's in the name that's above every name, in the name of the one, Christ Jesus, who orders our steps, we pray. Amen.
Amen. Thank you so much, Pastor. We receive all that plus a whole lot more. As we prepare for this delectable meal tonight, we're going to be doing acknowledgments throughout the program. And so we're going to begin now by asking Roy Evans to please come forward. Roy, while you're coming forward for a very special announcement, because we understand that this program tonight is going in a special direction, one that I truly love and I spent a career doing, and it's going to be going live, and we're going to have Roy tell us a little bit more about that.
Good evening, everyone. I'm going to make this really short. We actually are streaming this event live, so if any of the folks that are here that have someone at home that might want them to be able to see what's going on, to be involved, and to get more Rattlers involved across the country, you can send them to myjbn.com/FAMU. And that's myjbn.com/FAMU. It's all lowercase. It is live right now, so we are going to do that. Turn it back over. Thank you.
Thank you very much. We're going to begin with some special acknowledgments. Will the 17th president of the FAMU National Alumni Association please stand, along with the executive officers and all of the chapter presidents, for a round of applause. Thank you for all that you do. And all of our chapter presidents who may be with us tonight. Thank you so very much. You may be seated. We'd like to ask that you enjoy yourselves. Let your hair down. Not too far down. Eat, drink, and be merry. We're going to have a little soft music, and then we're also going to be entertained a little bit later in the program by this wonderful band. I'm sure you've heard a little of their introductory music tonight. Natural Change. And I'm sure, yes, Natural Change Band. I'm excited about that. We're going to begin our meal now, and we'll come back after these commercials. Rattlers and friends, I surely hope you enjoyed this dinner tonight. We're going to proceed with the program, and we're going to do it as expeditiously as possible this evening. First, we'd we'd like to acknowledge the fact that we have a number of university administrators in the house tonight. The chair of the FAMU Board of Trustees, Mr. Rufus Montgomery, is here, along with Provost Marcella David, Assistant to the President, Amara Mangum, Attorney Fumi Otejeo, the Interim Vice President of University Advancement, Ms. Angela Poole, the AVP of Alumni Affairs and Rattler Boosters, Dr. John Michael Lee, Interim Athletic Director Dwayne Robinson, and Assistant Athletic Director Ms. Angela Suggs. We have a number of coaches in the house tonight. FAMU head football coach Alex Wood, FAMU head basketball coach Byron Samuel. And it takes a whole lot of work to move what has been a gala that has traditionally been in the Grand Ballroom at Florida A&M across the miles to the Lone Star State. It's very hard to do that, so our compliments go to the staff, the stable of volunteers who worked really hard to help tonight. Our Student National Alumni Association came across the miles, and their president, thank you so very much. Mr. and Mrs. FAMU, Annie Taylor and Amir Hall are with us tonight. Our volunteers from the Texas chapters are also here. Thank you so very much. We'd also like to acknowledge the directors from the FAMU Foundation Board under the leadership of Chair Thomas Jones. They are also here. And the workhorses for our alumni in the Office of Alumni Affairs, Ms. Regina Gardner, Brandon Hill are also here. And the folks who make it move in the foundation, the FAMU Foundation staff, thank you so much for being with us tonight. I am so excited to hear the Natural Change Band. Now we know that we are moving toward the dessert portion of the program, but we're going to give you just a little appetizer of what you can expect to help you lose that dessert, those pounds, later tonight. Ladies and gentlemen, one selection by the Natural Change Band. Please welcome them.
Does it sound okay to you guys? Sound okay? How about a nice round of applause for Mr. Rob Abs on the guitar, y'all? Rob Abs on the guitar. The heart and soul of the band, y'all. Mr. Byron Fuller, y'all. Byron Fuller on the drums. Mr. Tony Blaine on the keys and vocals, y'all. Tony Blaine. And on the sax, y'all. Give it up, Mr. Paul Rogers. And all together, we make up the band called Natural Change. All right, we'll be right back, y'all. Stick and stay.
Well, all right. The Natural Change Band. Houston, Dallas, Texas. Chair Jones, Dallas, Texas. Ooh, you had my heart beating so fast over there. That was awesome. And then little Mr. FAMU pulls me on the dance floor. Made me remember some moves. How do you know how to do that? I'm impressed, Amir. I'm impressed. I know you got me. Again, that was an appetizer for tonight. I think the cheesecake won't have anything on what we're going to do on this hardwood. Later on. All right, ladies. Have at it. Because we're going to make it do like have to get serious. I almost wish that I hadn't asked him to do that, because now my mind is in a different place. I'm ready to get the party on. But before we do that, we've got some very serious business to tend to. One of our legendary graduates, the esteemed former U.S. Congresswoman Carrie Meek, once said, "Service is the price you pay for the space in which God lets you occupy." Tonight we come together to salute 24 Rattler alums for the space they have occupied in their distinguished service to Florida Agricultural and Mechanical University and to their community. Each year, FAMU's National Alumni Association and Florida A&M University celebrate and acknowledge supportive alums who have distinguished themselves in their respective professions. The Distinguished Alumni Award is the absolute highest award bestowed to its graduates. 24 alums are being honored tonight for their success in categories like business, community service, education, military, law, government, and the arts. For many of you honorees, this award epitomizes the cascade of accolades that you have worked so diligently to attain in your lifetime. It is indeed a blessing to receive this outstanding honor as loyal and committed alums of this most prestigious institution. Well done, FAMUans, I say to you, as we preface this salute. This is your night, and ladies and gentlemen, the 2015 FAMU Distinguished Alumni Awards will begin. We'd like to ask Provost Marcella David to accompany FAMU's National Alumni Association President, Mr. Tommy Mitchell, and Gala Chair, Ms. Doris Hicks, for part one of this presentation. Coca-Cola, Toyota, and the Eddie Robinson Foundation helped fuel her academic dreams as a distinguished scholar and graduate of Florida Agricultural and Mechanical University. Upon exiting the halls of academia, Ms. Rachel Blanks channeled that same determination right inside the classroom. Rachel is truly passionate about empowering youth to make their mark and become successful and build paths for their lives with no excuses. Her commitment to the children has garnered her numerous state awards as an educator both in Florida and Ohio. Most recently, her star power as an educator landed her a spot among the All-Stars as she was named a winner of Major League Baseball's 2014 Target All-Star Teachers Campaign. Rachel proudly represented thousands of teachers at the 2014 All-Star Game. In an age where educators are often taken for granted, Ms. Rachel, it is refreshing to see that those empowered to shape the lives of our littlest gems in their formative years are still committed and still appreciated. For that reason, we salute you, Rachel Blanks, among the circle of distinguished alums in the field of education. Ladies and gentlemen, Rachel Blanks. Blanks.
Wow, what an honor. It is an extremely humbling experience to not only be nominated for such a high honor, but to be able to accept it with such a crowd of wonderful Rattlers. It has been an amazing time on the Hill and after the Hill and using everything that I have learned. And I just want to say thank you, not only to the committee and to those people who chose the recipients, but also to my friends and family who are here today. And I have to say that I cannot accept this honor on my own. It is not deserving, but I accept it on behalf of all those educators leaving Florida A&M University who believe that poet laureates are still made in English classrooms, that mathematicians are still created in math classrooms, that scientists and engineers are still created in science classrooms, and for all those people who believe that our children need to not let schooling get in the way of an education, and that we are continuing to push our young people forward with no excuses. Family today, family tomorrow, family forever. Thank you.
Thank you. Rachel Blanks, everyone. She basks in the glow of a very long and rewarding career in the area of human services, having utilized her clinical and administrative experience to go the extra mile in bolstering the mission for community service agencies like the Harvard Street Neighborhood Center, the United Way of Massachusetts Bay. She proclaims she is retired, but her busy schedule depicts a very different scenario, as she is still very active in her church, the NAACP, the YMCA, and most especially the FAMU National Alumni Association, where she's been an active member of the Massachusetts chapter of the FAMU NAA for more than 40 years. She has received numerous awards and served in numerous capacities as the chapter's president, vice president, treasurer, and secretary. For Shirley Carrington, the eternal flame of service is still very much aglow. Ladies and gentlemen, Rattlers, please join us in saluting our honoree in the field of community service, Miss Shirley Carrington.
First of all, I'd like to say to God be the glory, because without Him, there would be no me. I'd like to thank my parents who long left me many, many years ago, but I stand here tonight because of the teachings that they imparted upon me. I'd like to thank my sister who flew in today, all the way from Orlando, Florida, just to surprise me. I am so grateful. I have a loving family who could not be with me this evening, but I thank my husband, R.C. Carrington, my lovely son, who is just the love of my life. There are so many people I'd like to thank this evening. The Boston chapter of Florida A&M University National Alumni Association. I stand on the shoulders of Lillian Granderson and Alice Bacon. Those women have helped to shape my life. Cassie Farmer, who's always been my road dog, as we've tried to keep a presence for Florida A&M in the Massachusetts chapter. I give love and honor to all of you Rattlers. Continue to do the fine work that you're doing. We love FAMU today, tomorrow, and forever. Thank you very much.
Congratulations, Miss Shirley. He matriculated through some very tough challenges on the gridiron. That coursework on the turf and in the classrooms of Florida A&M University helped Stephen Dixon become a man of great strength, courage, confidence, and compassion for others. Stephen's business savvy helped him enjoy quite a career in retail and commercial mortgage lending, in which he formed and operated 2 companies as president. He later journeyed into business education. He oversees 7 alternative schools in Jacksonville, Florida that specialize in dropout and retrieval and credit recovery for teens and young adults. Stephen has had a long-standing commitment to alumni leadership. A life member of the FAMU National Alumni Association, Stephen has had numerous positions, including chapter president, Florida region president, and he has 2 sons who are continuing the family legacy by attending FAMU. Ladies and gentlemen, Rattlers, please join me in saluting this Jacksonville, Florida native and honoree in the field of business, alumnus Stephen Dixon. Hush that child, and don't cry. Your folks might understand you. By and by.
thank God for FAMU. You know, funny things happen in your life. You never know what's going to give you the catalyst to move on. And in my short write-up, I kind of told my story a little bit about how adversity kind of propels you to do the things that you should do. So from the neighborhoods of Jacksonville, Florida, from a person that had never left the city of Jacksonville, and to receive a scholarship to come to Florida A&M, and ironically, in the city of Houston, Texas Southern. And my choice, I thank God for this day, was Florida A&M University. And the students in the schools that I oversee today, a lot of them are at-risk students. So when I tell my story about this adversity, it kind of champions the issues and stuff that they deal with daily. So it's easy for me to do, but when I think about the good days and all of the dark clouds that came about, but the sun is shining today. So to all of my FAMUans and the leadership in the Alumni Association, I want to say thank you, and to my family and friends who came out to support me, I said thank God for you, thank God for FAMU, and FAMU forever. Thank you.
Thank you, and congratulations, Stephen Dixon. Jean Downing, Community Service. This honoree truly believes in being a cheerful giver, and his life journey of community service for this second-generation Rattler seems to depict that very well. Jean Downing has been applauded for his service during the 50th anniversary of Brown versus the Board of Education as a pioneer in integrating schools in Duval County, Florida. He has been a volunteer community builder with the Northeast Florida chapter of the United Way, and he served on the executive board of the International Brotherhood of Electrical Workers Local 2358. Mr. Downing has served a two-term presidency of the J.R.E. Lee Alumni Chapter in Jacksonville. Under his tenure, he completed the chapter's $100,000 endowment fund. He has been a two-term financial secretary for the Florida region and a two-term member at large for the National Alumni Association. Ladies and gentlemen, let us play the role of cheerful givers and offering up a substantial round of applause for honoree Jean Downing in the field of community service.
Needed the center of someone's heart. There you were. I needed someone to understand my ups and downs. There you were. With sweet love and devotion, deep in my emotion. I wanna stop. Thank you, baby. I just wanna stop.
To God be the glory. I'd like to thank my family, first of all, for supporting me all these many years as I helped Florida A&M University. Florida A&M University helped me in going to a higher level. I'd like to thank all of you here that is witnessing this event. And I live by my motto, by being a cheerful giver. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Congratulations, Mr. Jean Downing. When we think of the automotive giant General Motors, we often recall their slogan, People in Motion. Alumna Emma Fountain was on the move among the circle of managers in the driver's seat for 28 years at GM. While there, this proud Rattler recruited more than 200 students from FAMU for internships, summer jobs, and or permanent employment with General Motors. While she says she has retired on paper, you can still find Miss Emma among those Rattlers in motion, assisting with college fairs held in the metro Atlanta area. She's been applauded as an unsung heroine in her community. Miss Emma is active in her church and adored among her sisters in her sorority of Delta Sigma Theta Incorporated, where she was a Golden Life member. Several years ago, the Metro Atlanta Alumni Chapter established a scholarship in her honor, and she eagerly shares her talents and treasures in support of that fund to assist students who'd like to come to FAMU. Ladies and gentlemen, please join me in saluting a rattler in motion in the field of business, Miss Emma Fountain.
This is the day that the Lord has made. Let us all rejoice and be glad in it. It is such an honor to take this award. Thanks to my university, if it had not been for people like you, I would not have made it through. So I want to thank all of you who have come to be a part, and a special thanks. You know, I'm going to say this. I am the last of 17 children, and there's 5 of us living now. And I'm happy to have my sister, and she will sit up there and cry, here, who flew in from Tallahassee to be with me, and my nephew and his wife drove 3 hours to get here to celebrate with us. So thank you so much, very much. I really and really truly appreciate this award. Thank you.
Congratulations, Miss Emma. He proudly marched to the beat of a different drum during his days on the Hill at Florida Agricultural and Mechanical University. Victor R. Gaines was always in step when the cadence was called as the head drum major of the incomparable FAMU Marching 100. He has fond memories of the good old days, traveling all over the world for some of the most magnificent performances, like the French Bicentennial Bastille Day Parade in Paris, and supporting President Bill Clinton's and President Obama's inauguration parades, as well as the band's Super Bowl performances. Victor's adoration for the band was so profound that he chose to march the extra mile and became founder and president of the Marching 100 Alumni Band Association, which is a nonprofit organization that Victor says supports hundreds of FAMU students with academic scholarships and book vouchers, as well as prospective students in the FAMU Summer Band Camp. A proud life member of the FAMU NAA, Victor is now president of the Leon County chapter of the National Alumni Association. Ladies and gentlemen, please join me in saluting our honoree in the field of the arts, Mr. Victor R. Gaines.
Good evening. Thank God for the talent that He gave me with leadership and music. There are a few people that I do want to thank that, of course, you never have the opportunity to thank. But first, my mother, who was instrumental in getting me to FAMU. I was on my way to another school, a few hours down the road, but she contacted Dr. Walter L. Smith, and he got me, I earned the Presidential Scholarship Award. I want to also thank Dr. William P. Foster, who taught me about leadership. Said that, being a good leader is being a good follower. And then Dr. Julian E. White helped to cultivate that by appointing me as head drum major of the Marching 100.
all these things helped me to become the person that I am today, that helped me to love FAMU as much as I do. And I want to thank you all for being a part of that, seeing me on the field, doing whatever I do, and supporting me every step of the way, because these are the things that help us to help others to become great FAMUans like you are yourself. Thank you very much.
Thank you so very much. Please, let's give the first phase of our 24 honorees a nice round of applause. We'd also like to acknowledge one of our award-winning coaches in the house tonight in the area of golf. Mr. Marvin Green is with us tonight. And he's also the Director of Student Activities. If you haven't had an opportunity to come back to the Hill in the past maybe a couple months, you've got to come back. Well, you need to come back anyway. But the grand ballroom is simply stunning. It is incredible. And under Mr. Marvin's leadership, it looks totally different, an incredible transformation. So that's just one more reason for you to come home, Rattlers. You can't stay away too long. What did Dorothy say when she clicked her heels 3 times? There's no place like, all right. Now, after we've partied till the wee hours, you got to get up at 8 o'clock in the morning. That's when the day begins for us, as the NAA fundraising breakfast will be right in this ballroom. Now, you can't stay here. You've got to go home, because we've got to prepare the room for the fundraising breakfast in the morning. But it is going to be in this ballroom from 8 to 10, after which we will have an interesting discussion. I'm sure it's going to be quite enlightening, because it's going to be on the state of athletics. That's going to also be in this ballroom from 10 to 11 a.m. After which, from 11, well, you'll have a little break, a small break. At 12, we're going to sample some of that good old Texas barbecue. I can't wait. How many Texas natives are in here? How many Texans are in here? Okay. Is the barbecue tight and right? All right. Don't leave me wrong now, because I will go back to Florida in the Sunshine State, and I will talk about you. I can't wait. Later that afternoon, now, I've been told that, obviously we know that it's been raining here, misting most of the week, and we will advise you, Mr. Greg Clark, the convention coordinator. Greg, stand up. You and Chuck, both of you all are coordinating this entire week. Our first vice president, our time and place chair. Greg, don't look so tired. You're not more tired than me now. Just drink some coffee and keep it moving. But Greg is going to advise us of the rain plan in the event Mother Nature has other plans. Because we will have some of that Texas barbecue. It may be under a tent, it may be in this ballroom, but we are going to partake of that barbecue. Later tomorrow afternoon, we are going to have the Life Members Reception. I know that there is a company that boasts membership has its privileges, but there's nothing like being a Life member to attend the Doris L. Hicks Life Members Reception. What do you think you have to be to go to that? Life member. What? What did you say? A Life member. So, if you are a Life member, you are truly welcome to attend. President Mitchell, the work for him is never done. He doesn't care about the fact that he's in the last mile of his presidency. At 11:59 on December 31st, he's probably going to be calling somebody to try to get a check for Life membership. If you're interested, it's $750. If you'd like to do it in increments, you can do that as well. See Ms. Doris or President Mitchell if you'd like to do so. Yes, we take credit cards that are still effective. Alrighty. And then our culminating party, Mother Nature permitting. Now this is going to be inside, regardless of what Mother Nature plans. No, some of us might not be ready for the rapture just yet. Mr. Mitchell. So in the meantime, for those of you who'd like to party with the finale, that's going to be on the 20th floor of this particular hotel. All right, that's it for our announcements. Ms. Doris, did I give you enough time to rest? That $1 million smile and charismatic persona just make alumna Sika Rose Green's passion for the orange and green truly voluminous. She's mastered the art of messaging for the past 24 years as Communications Director for Florida Housing Finance Corporation, for Voices of Florida's Children, and Deputy Communications Director for the Florida Department of Children and Families. A graduate of FAMU School of Journalism and Graphic Communication, volunteerism and community service are vast for Ms. Sika. So it's no surprise that this presidential scholar and former FAMU Queen of Orange and Green and former FAMU cheerleader cleverly crafted a successful campaign in support of her beloved alma mater. Known to most of us as 10 for 10, Sika alums got the message and they opened their wallets, and they're still doing so today. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome our honoree and former Queen of Orange and Green in the field of communications, Miss Sika Rose Green.
Close your eyes and let the rhythm get into you. Don't try to fight it. There ain't nothing that you can do. Relax your mind. Lay back and move with your mind. You gotta feel that heat. And we can ride again.
Wow, how awesome is this? First, I'd like to give honor to God, because without Him, nothing is possible. Absolutely. Second, I must acknowledge my husband, Marvin Green. We both bleed orange and green. Had it been not for FAMU, I would never have met him. So thank you, baby, for being here. And our 3 kids that are back at home with my mom. Hey, Mari, Shayla, and Trey. I also have to acknowledge my bestie, Dr. Adrienne Berry, who flew in from Atlanta to be here with me today, and I just want to thank her for that. You know, I bleed orange and green. Everything good that has happened in my life has happened because of Florida A&M University. From being a graduate at from FAMU High School and being at Florida A&M for 6 years, and I brag about that because I was on the 6-year program, to being involved in all of the activities of which I partake, none of which I believe I could have done at a predominantly white institution. I could not have been a cheerleader at the University of Florida. I'm not petite and I don't weigh 115 pounds. I don't know that I would have gotten a scholarship at the University of Florida because they're white people that probably had higher GPAs than I had. I don't know that I would have pledged Delta Sigma Theta at the University of Florida, to be quite honest. I just don't know that. And so everything that I am, everything that I will ever be is because of Florida A&M University. So when I am called Miss 10 for 10, the Queen of 10 for 10, whatever other accolades you want to give me, I wear that badge very proudly. Because what I do know is that you have to put up or be quiet. So if you have not done your 10 for 10, I need you to do that this evening before you leave, because the only way that Florida A&M is going to survive is if we financially support it. FAMU today, FAMU tomorrow, FAMU forever. Thank you.
Thank you so much and congratulations, Ms. Sika. He's mastered the art of managing cash, assets, and data collection. When there's dialogue on checks and balances, alumnus John L. Green is right at home in the world of accounting. He's managed his own accounting firm and taught accounting at Florida A&M University. But his curiosity for the philosophy of law was the impetus for his pursuit of a doctorate of jurisprudence from the South Texas College of Law in 1992. 23 years later, he is still soaring among the legal eagles practicing law. Alumnus Green is also among the circle of dedicated directors on the FAMU Foundation Board. He generously shares his expertise in professional periodicals for the National Association of Black Accountants Journal, on television and radio talk shows, and conducts educational workshops on taxation and accounting. Ladies and gentlemen, please join me in saluting our honoree in the field of business, alumnus and attorney, John L. Green.
See, I have 3 of my homeboys here from Jacksonville, and everybody associates me with Houston, Texas. But I'm really associated with Florida A&M. And tonight I am humbled by this award, and I'm very much honored by it. In fact, I've had a bunch of friends that received this award, and I'm so happy to be introduced to become a part of this fraternity. But I am originally from Jacksonville, Florida. I got to get to FAMU by accident, really. I came from Negro background. That's a nice way of saying poor. But the governor of Florida at the time, when I graduated high school, Hayden Burns, he used to have a scholarship ball every New Year's Eve, and he would give the proceeds to needy students scholarships. So I got to go to Florida A&M. And I was majored in math, and one of my friends told me that I need to check this lady out. Her name was Sybil C. Motley. And boy, did that change my life. And you know, I really don't want to cry, but when I think about Motley and what she's done for me in my life and shaping me, to be honest, at the time there were 9 African American PhD CPAs in the country. 9. Motley was one of them. And I went to visit with Mobley back in the day when we did the registration in the gym. Now, I was a math major, so I said, my friends talk about you so much, I just want to see if you were real. And she said, yes, I'm real. She said, why don't you just take one of the classes? So I took an accounting class, and wow. Then I took another class from her, and wow, I took most of my classes from her. And when I graduated, she set me up the job at Pricewaterhouse to go to New York. And then she said, well, John, why don't you just go to University of Illinois and get you an advanced degree and come on back here and work with me. She was starting this SBI. And so I went to University of Illinois, which is where she got her doctorate. And I came back and I taught at FAMU for 4 years. She said, John, there's only 9 of us, and I envision having a whole staff of PhD CPAs. So you need to go get your doctorate. So I left and I went to Houston. That's why I got here. I came here to go back. I came here and got my degree, and it was kind of hard to leave Houston to go back to Tallahassee. With all due respect. And I went on and got my law degree, and I've been here ever since. But thank you so much, FAMU, and this is for Motley. Thank you, thank you.
Thank you and congratulations, Attorney Green. Don't be fooled by that infectious smile and bubbly persona. For when alumnus Cheryl Harris Booker sits at the corporate table in the corporate boardroom, she means business. Harris is Senior Vice President of Sourcing and Procurement Solutions at Allstate Insurance Company. In this role, Cheryl is responsible for optimizing Allstate's third-party spend portfolio of $5 billion through collaboration with internal business partners and driving innovation with external suppliers. She also oversees Allstate's supplier diversity program. In her corporate journey, Cheryl has managed teams across the United States, Canada, Brazil, and Argentina, and leveraged resources in offshore and nearshore locations. Booker Harris Booker, is currently the chair of the Florida A&M University Industry Cluster and among the circle of directors for the FAMU Foundation Board. She is the senior executive sponsor for Allstate's relationship with the university. Our students know they are in good hands with you, Cheryl, as you have recruited more than 70 graduates to Allstate. Ladies and gentlemen, please join me in saluting our honoree in the field of business, Ms. Cheryl Harris Booker.
Good evening. Good evening. To God be the glory. Yes. So you guys are going to hear from me tomorrow morning. So I ask that you bring your checkbooks and or cash or credit cards. 31 years ago, when I was 15 years of age, I stepped foot on Florida A&M's campus. Born to a single unwed mother, statistically, I'm not supposed to be here. FAMU changed my life. And now I feel that it is my purpose to change the lives of others. So as I look across the room, I'm not going to take a lot of time, but Adrian Berry, Sika Rose Green, Marvin Green, Pam Zachary, Dean Friday Stroud, Jimmy Watts, Rita Braswell, my best friend who flew in from Atlanta, Georgia, Ben Johnson, Brian McPherson, who was a big brother to me when I was a freshman on campus. I know George Bell, my freshman brothers and sisters, my fellow Greeks, thank you for upholding me and making sure that I'm able to make a difference today. I love you all. I'm also a product of Dean Friday Stroud, Reggie Mitchell, thank you. Greg Clark, thank you. James Moran, thank you. Rufus Montgomery, thank you. What you guys don't understand is that our relationships are deep. 31 years ago, I stepped on campus, and I can pick up the phone today and call Oscar Joyner and say, man, I need you. And guess what? It's not I'll call you back or he doesn't answer my calls. He calls me right back every single time. That's the power that we have in this room, and that's the opportunity that we, again, have to change the lives of others. Sonia Mouse Green, love you all. Talk to you tomorrow morning, and bring your money. Thank you.
Money must be his middle name, as Dr. Thomas J. Haynes has been in the hunt for dollars to open academic windows of opportunity for students for more than 3 decades. Dr. Haynes has been the principal fundraiser as Associate Vice President and Vice President for Florida A&M University on at least 2 occasions. He was responsible for the development of results-oriented policies and strategies for strengthening the university's fundraising capacity, raising millions of dollars annually. He provided leadership that resulted in one of the most benchmarked industry cluster programs. A proud NAA Life member, Dr. Haynes is a fellow of the American Council on Education. He served on the boards of the Greater Tallahassee Chamber of Commerce and the Economic Development Council of Tallahassee. Ladies and gentlemen, please join me in welcoming all the way from Madison County, Florida, our honoree in the field of education, Dr. Thomas Haynes.
Wow. Before I do anything, I need to ask my students over here. Y'all please stand. All my students. All my students. All my students. Your family members. Students, please join me in giving a loud round of applause to this group. I want you all to do it. For many years, I've asked each of you to give, and you've given. You've given so that these kids can be here. You've given for kids that you don't even know that you've helped, but you've done it. And I want to take this opportunity as I get ready. I retired June 30th. And so as I get ready to retire, I will not stop asking you, because the journey that we have is all about making certain that these students and others who will come behind them will have opportunities to really enjoy the American dream. And you've done it before. I want to just take this time to say thank you, thank you, thank you, and don't stop.
Congratulations, Dr. Haynes. Even as a bright-eyed, curious student at then FAMC, alumna Anira Hadley Hudnall had always seen the world as her creative palette, filled with soft pastels and vivid hues, a world filled with imagination and wonder. Upon departing the historic halls of Florida A&M College in 1943, she journeyed into the classroom to share her passion for art education with inquisitive children, and there she stayed until she retired in 1978. Ladies and gentlemen, please join me in saluting our honoree, Miss Anira Hadley Hudnall. Could not be with us tonight, but she is so worthy of a round of applause. Turn this into something else. That's one of my favorite songs. He's devoted his career toward helping students shape their academic and career aspirations, not only through critical thinking on paper, but William Hudson Jr. helps young people craft the skills to solve the equations of life. His professional journey has included academic retention at Florida State University. Now at Florida A&M University, his passion to make a difference in the lives of students remains constant, where the scope of his leadership includes admissions, orientation, enrollment management, student government, student health, financial aid, disability access and resources, student activities, residence life, and student life. He also enjoys crisscrossing about the country because we travel with him in our effort to recruit the best and brightest to the highest of 7 hills. Rattlers, this gentleman all the way from Jacob City, Florida, that's in the western part of the Florida Panhandle, could not be with us tonight as he is recuperating from surgery on his Achilles tendon. While our prayers are with him for a speedy recovery, we ask that you please join me in saluting this honoree with a round of applause. He's a prominent power broker in the real estate development world. A native of Fort Lauderdale, Mr. Milton Jones specializes in building diverse and monumental projects throughout Broward County. He is currently president of Milton Jones Development Corporation and formerly president of M.I. Jones Enterprises, Inc. He's had a long and impressive career as a real estate broker. His community involvement includes membership on the Board of Governors of Nova Southeastern University, the Planning and Zoning Board of the City of Fort Lauderdale. He's the investment chairman emeritus of the FAMU Foundation and a member of the NAACP. A veteran of the U.S. Army, Mr. Jones was commissioned as second lieutenant, rising to the rank of first lieutenant and reserve status captain. Ladies and gentlemen, please join me in saluting the suave, honoring the field of business, Mr. Milton Jones.
Thank you. First of all, I want to give praise and glory to God Almighty, because without Him, I would not be here. I'm going to give you a few nuggets out of my life and how I got here. When I was in the second grade, my mother passed. My dad had to raise us, and he eventually took on another wife. I remember graduating from high school, and I had already sent an application to Florida A&M. They had accepted me. I went to my dad, and I said, "Dad, I've been accepted at Florida A&M." He said, "Son, I don't have any money." He only had a sixth grade education. But he went and borrowed $300. And that's how I got into Florida A&M. Once I got into Florida A&M, I was determined to make it. I met my wife, Barbara Jones, there. And she would give me her lunch book so I could eat. And after I graduated from Florida A&M, I wanted to give back. And everyone here remembers Moses Miles. For some reason, he saw something in me. And he said, "I'm going to make you investment chair." And every year when I would see Reverend Miles, he would say, "And you are still my investment chair." I have been really blessed by going to Florida A&M. Without Florida A&M, I don't think I would have achieved some of the things that I've done in my life. And I'm extremely proud to have been on the foundation for over 25 years. When I started as the investment chair, we had $4 million scattered in CDs with various banks. Today we have over $130 million, okay? And I'm so appreciative of what we have been able to achieve. Also, one other thing, I am the chair of the Higher Education Facilities Authority. We have given out to our rival institution $30 million. But over that period of time, we have given probably about $1.5 billion to various higher education schools, independent colleges, and universities. So I'm proud of that work. And at Nova, okay, I guess I'm running over time. And at Nova, I'm in charge of, we have done over $1.5 billion of construction there. So we've been really blessed. So we just want to thank you.
Mr. Jones, that was not a divine signal. The innocent photographer just bumped the knob.
Everybody looking in the back.
We're going to have another station break and allow these lovely ladies to calm their burning heels in these stilettos for a little while. For more than a decade, alumna Nicole Jones Esquire has faithfully served as an attorney in the Office of the Public Defender for the 15th Judicial Circuit of Florida. In this position, she manages a caseload of clients who are charged with a variety of crimes. Nicole graduated from Nova Southeastern University with a Juris Doctorate and Master's of Business Administration degree with honors in 2003. And each day she works to ensure that even the indigent have adequate representation regardless of the charges they may face. While Nicole has garnered an impressive career in the field of law, she has also accomplished in the field of accounting as she graduated with honors from FAMU School of Business and Industry. When she is not striving to balance the scales of justice for her clients, you can find her handling business for the FAMU National Alumni Association, where she serves on the executive board as the second vice president. Ladies and gentlemen, please join me in saluting our honoree in the field of law, attorney Nicole T. Jones.
FAMU. That was one of my favorite songs to sing in the stands as a child, and I'm also glad that God blessed me with a family that instilled in me a love of higher education, and God that pursued that passion in me to pursue a higher education. I'd like to thank my mother who is here, Mrs. Cheryl Blackman Jones, as well as my aunt who passed 2 months ago, Mrs. Emerald Newbold Smith, because she was the impetus behind all of us wanting to attend FAMU, because she packed us up every opportunity she could get to take us to every football game in the state of Florida as a child. I appreciate her, as well as Mr. James Jefferson. Some of you all know him. He was the person that promised me that he would get me a room at Florida A&M University, and if he got me a room, would I go? And at 7 o'clock the night before I was to leave to go to Tallahassee, to go to another school, he called me and he said, I fulfilled my promise to you, will you fulfill mine and attend FAMU? And I did that. So I would like to thank those people as well as the entire FAMU NAA Executive Board and Florida Region. Thank you all for being my mentors, my FAMU mothers, fathers, aunties, uncles, sisters, and brothers. I really appreciate you all. I know sometimes President Mitchell is like, Nicole, this is not the courtroom. You don't need to argue with me. But I appreciate his wisdom. And despite what you all see on television and the public perception of public defenders, we are the fearless, tenacious fighters for justice, especially for those in our communities, those that are underserved, the indigent. My clients are not just some number, they are individuals that have their individual stories. A lot of them, believe it or not, are innocent. And we fight every day to make sure that those people that are innocent are not sent to jail. We try to end the third grade to prison pipeline, and we fight very, very hard for those in the courtroom to pursue liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, FAMU, for giving me that start and that opportunity. I appreciate and love you all. Thank you.
Thank you, Nicole, and congratulations. He's an entrepreneurial change agent who likes to build things. Alumnus Thomas Jones has quite a passion for the kind of results-oriented networking that can help small business owners and risk-taking entrepreneurs move their businesses to the next level. A seasoned, well-connected professional, Alumnus Jones takes pride in how he has been able to use his influence and connections to help companies grow and acquire financing. His life's journey chronicles a business path in both the private and public sector. He's worn hats as tax manager for a small CPA firm, treasurer of a large private company, and as vice president of a prestigious bank in Texas. And now he adorns the top hat as chair of the Florida A&M University Foundation Board. He told us today the goal should be to raise money, manage money, and administer resources for students who long to attain an education at Florida A&M University. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome and salute our honoree in the field of business, Mr. Thomas Jones, Jr.
Found out on my way to Harlem, Ellington, you don't live around here. He moved away one day, so they say, from Harlem. I can hear his echo still.
Okay. Thank you so much, and it is a blessing to be here with you this evening. My wife, Kenitha, 37 years, is here with me. My son, Nathan, my daughter, Jessica, my sister, Lanita, and current retired Colonel Ronald Joe, all the way from Tallahassee, Florida, with me here. And two dear friends, John and Brenda Chase, are also here with me. Thank you. Now, I figured this out. To get a distinguished alumni award, you just need to serve on the board of the foundation. So all of my board members, those who have not, that are not on the board of the foundation, that haven't already been recognized, stand up. No, I'm just kidding. I want all my board members to stand that are with the Family Foundation, if you would, please, so that everybody can see you. We are, like the Alumni Association, we are a direct support organization of the university, and what's already been said multiple times, our duty, our sole mission is to raise, manage, and administer funds for the university. Now, very quickly, I got to Florida A&M in 1973, put together some scholarships and some loans. I told my father and mother, neither one who had gone to college, that I was with my dad, asked me, he said, boy, what you going to do when you go to college? I said, well, Dad, I'm going to major in accounting and be a CPA. He said, damn, boy, that's a license to steal. Little did he know, or little did I know what he meant at the time, but I do now. I've been a CPA, and I'm a partner with McConnell, Jones, Lanier, and Murphy. I don't know how that got left off of the deal, but I'm blessed to be, we're now in business for over 25 years. But as John Green is, I'm a product of the School of Business and Industry. In fact, I believe I'm in the first graduating class of the School of Business and Industry under the leadership of the great Dr. Sybil Mobley in 1977. John Green was one of my instructors. I know he doesn't look that old, but he was. But certainly, as a CPA, I've also learned that when I tell all my prospective clients, I do books, the three sets of books. One for the IRS, one for the bank, and then the real one. You tell me which one you want, and we'll do it. I can do all three. But let me get ahead of the game. all my board members in the foundation have already stole my thunder. I was going to ask you to write checks tonight. Okay, so we'll wait till in the morning. You saw my board members, they stood. If you feel so compelled, pull out your checkbook, since again, that's what we do, and that's for the students of Florida A&M University. Thank you again to the Alumni Association for this award, and I look forward to seeing you in the morning. Thank you.
Congratulations, Mr. Jones. Faith, FAMU, and family. That's the order of the cornerstones of life for Don Jordan. This high school valedictorian has lived up to his title as he was voted most likely to succeed, and he did just that. The honor graduate of Florida A&M University as well has enjoyed a rewarding career in the corporate world of IBM, First Union, and Wachovia Banks, and the Family Dollar Corporation. Alumnus Jordan is one of the founding members of the Charlotte Metro Alumni Chapter. He's active as a deacon and choir member of his church and a member of the Kappa Alpha Psi Fraternity Incorporated. And he took a jet from his hometown of Midway, Florida tonight. I'm just teasing. He is from Midway, Florida though, but he's here in Houston. Ladies and gentlemen, please join me in saluting our honoree in the field of community service, alumnus Don Jordan.
Watching, we're alone now, and I'm singing this song to you. I know your image of me is what I hope to be.
Giving honor to my Lord and Savior Jesus Christ, I humbly accept this award tonight on behalf of all the many hard-working individuals that God has blessed me to work beside. I don't perceive this as an individual award. I know that there's so many others that dedicated their blood, sweat, and tears for their love of FAMU. And I had the pleasure of working beside them to accomplish the many things that we were set forth to do. I want to thank my wife, Miriam, who's always been my biggest supporter. When we were getting the Charlotte chapter up and running, she had to put up with my many antics of trying to make sure that I had all of the local alumni aware of everything that was going on. So I definitely want to give honor to her. And I just want to say thank you for all of the commitment that the National Alumni Association has given to our chapter in trying to help us stay on the path that we've been set on. And I want to thank FAMU for the foundation that they set for me. My wife will tell you, I definitely bleed orange and green. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Jordan. As we move to our next award, we want to welcome Vice Chair of the FAMU Board of Trustees, Mr. Kelvin Lawson, who also just arrived from Midway, Florida tonight. He really is from Midway. It might be one of your relatives, Miss Doris. He hails from a family of folks who believe in reaching back to make a positive difference in communities large and small. So it's no surprise alumnus Oscar Joyner is President and Chief Operating Officer of Reach Media Incorporated, headquartered in Dallas, Texas. Reach Media is the parent company of the Tom Joyner Morning Show, BlackAmericaWeb.com, and a host of other syndicated radio and television properties. He oversees a staff of more than 80 people with annual revenue in excess of $50 million. Oscar is a founding board member of the Tom Joyner Foundation, which helps students continue their education at historically black colleges and universities. Oscar is a proud member of Omega Psi Phi Fraternity Incorporated and former member of the Florida A&M University Foundation. Oscar was recently listed as one of Ebony Magazine's Power 150. Ladies and gentlemen, please join me in saluting our honoree in the field of business, Mr. Oscar Joyner.
Now I was wondering what my song was going to be. Everybody else was getting Curtis Mayfield and Gap Band, but Marvin will tell you I was not the show dog, so don't get excited. It is an honor to be up here amongst alumni, young and old. It is a blessing for y'all to come to my home state. So greetings to all of y'all from out of the state to my home state of Texas. I am a proud graduate of Florida A&M University. As Carmen said, my family is nothing but proud graduates of black colleges. When I graduated high school, my father told me I could go to college anywhere that I wanted. He told me he was only paying for a black college. And it's only fitting considering both my parents went to Tuskegee, their parents went to FAMC, Tennessee State, Claflin, Meharry. I've got cousins that have gone everywhere from Howard to Clark to Florida Memorial to Bethune-Cookman. I don't actually have anybody in my family that I can think of, and this is honest, that has ever been to a white school. When people wonder why the Tom Joyner Foundation does what we do, is because we don't know any better. We don't have anybody in our family that ever went to any place other than HBCU. So to all of you all that are the alumni, please continue to give. I work with a foundation that works with a lot of alumni from a lot of other black colleges, and I can honestly say that they don't do what we do. Florida A&M has given record numbers of donations back to its school, not just through the Tom Joyner Foundation, but through other efforts, so please continue to give back. I can personally attest to many a student that come up to me from FAMU and other schools to say how much they appreciate being given just a little bit of money to get over the hump. And once you get over that hump, and once you graduate from HBCU, not just FAMU, but any HBCU, you already know what it is. All right, thank you, everybody. Please continue to give. Thank you. God bless.
He's known by many as a charismatic power broker whose political savvy has resulted in an impressive ascent into the world of legislative and governmental affairs. Alumnus Rufus Montgomery is president and CEO of a Georgia-based communications and governmental affairs firm serving a diverse clientele ranging from nonprofits and educational management companies to Fortune 500 companies. He has a vast assortment of expertise in strategic advice and successful advocacy for clients before executive, legislative, and local branches of government. But that's not the extent of his career. Mr. Montgomery is also a veteran who proudly stood in service for his country in Operations Desert Storm and Desert Shield. After completion of these tours of duty, he returned to the highest of 7 hills to complete the journey he once started in our historic halls of academia some years ago. And as we fast forward to this day, alumnus Rufus Montgomery sits at the helm of leadership on the Florida Agricultural and Mechanical University Board of Trustees as chairman of the board. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome a proud veteran and honoree in the field of government, chairman and alumnus Rufus Montgomery.
Thank you. When you follow folks who've had so much to say and say it in the right way, sometimes you feel like you have to say more. I know that the rest of us are in between you and the bars and wherever you're headed or sleep for tomorrow, so I say that I don't see this as an individual award. I think about Charles U. Smith. He recently passed. I think about Colonel Hobbs and Colonel Chuck Hobbs, one of the only Republicans on campus, but who always stood tall with me and said, be a man, be a man. Dr. Humphreys, that's what he said, be a man. Dr. Humphreys, Larry Rivers, who taught me how to write. I had a mother and a father
I don't feel bad that I had two parents. Sometimes I don't think folks realize it, but I don't have the humble story from the humble beginnings. I had two parents, a mother and a father, and they did the best that they could. They got their degrees after me and my sister got our degrees. And so they dropped us off at FAMU, and the last thing they heard was Dr. Mobley saying, you know, they're mine now. You can come pick them up, and you know, next year, but right now they're mine. And so I take my responsibility as chairman of the board at FAMU very responsibly in saying that when people drop their kids off at FAMU, we're to say to all of them collectively as a team, you know, they're ours now, and we'll give them back to you when they're done. Right. But thank you. God bless and good night.
Congratulations, Mr. Chairman. Stop. Alumna Sonia Jackson Miles sincerely believes there's always a seat at the table for excellence. She's devoted the latest chapter of her life into molding the lives of young girls to create more positive outcomes. As the founder, president, and CEO of the Sister Accord Foundation, Sonia narrows her focus on educating girls and women and raising awareness about the power of sisterhood and eradicating bullying and violence against girls and women. The FAMU Honors graduate is a proud mom and author of the Sister Accord, 51 Ways to Love Your Sister. Prior to that, Sonia had an impressive career as a corporate executive that spanned more than 2 decades, having worked for the Ford Company, Gillette, and Procter & Gamble. Her last corporate role was Director of Global Packaging Purchases, where she managed $6 billion. Sonia's garnered national attention as a woman of power in Essence magazine, a history maker in Bloomberg reports, and recognized among the impressive women in high heels by the Trumpet Award Foundation. And now, as she rises to the occasion with pride in her sassy stilettos tonight, please join me in saluting our honoree in the field of business, Miss Sonia Jackson Miles.
Was that? I don't recognize that song. No. Lakeside. I'm from Saginaw, Michigan. Any Saginaw folks in the house? Give it up for the Saginaw people. Giving honor to God, who is indeed the head of my life, I am just so honored and so humbled to stand before you tonight. I want to first thank you because I could never do this on my own. I could never have been as successful as God has allowed me to be if it weren't for my family. And I have my parents here from Southfield, Michigan, and my husband and my 2 sons, my light and my love, are here with their dreads, looking all handsome and fine. Couldn't get that first one to come to FAMU, but that's okay, I'm working on the second one. FAMU changed my life. FAMU changed my life. FAMU saw the best in me. FAMU allowed me to be all that I could be. And I don't think that the other universities and schools that I was given scholarships to would have ever shaped and molded me into this woman and this visionary that I am today. I must give homage to Dr. Sybil C. Mobley. Please, everyone, give it up for Dr. Mobley. She blessed so many of us, and when you see a Cheryl Harris, who is the Chief Procurement Officer of Allstate, and so many other amazing people who have done amazing things in this room tonight, oftentimes it's because of Dr. Sybil C. Mobley sending us that little letter that said, "Dear Superstar." I had been called a lot of things in my life, but I had never been called a superstar. And so I want to just say thank you to everyone. And Dr. Friday Stroud, who is the dean, who has taken on the mantle. Please give it up for my sister, my freshman sister, who works night and day to make sure that the legacy continues. Thank you to the Alumni Association. I am honored to be here. I'm honored to be honored. Thank you all. I love you.
He's a Democratic ranking member in the Florida House of Representatives. Alumnus Bobby Powell takes great pride in being the legislative voice for the people of District 88 in Palm Beach County, Florida. He's also an esteemed rattler who is proud to sound off at any given moment in defense of his alma mater. We might add that his service does not just extend there, but beyond the confines of the walls of the Florida legislature. He's an active member in the Palm Beach County Alumni Chapter and community volunteer for the Martin Luther King Coordinating Committee as well. Representative Powell could not be with us tonight, so we ask you to please join me in saluting him still with a round of applause as the honoree in the field of government. Patient, humble, generous, compassionate. Do a little research on these attributes and you will probably find a picture of alumna Mary Smith nearby. Miss Mary is the department chairperson of medical community at McFadder Technical College in Davie, Florida, where she's responsible for a smorgasbord of day-to-day medical operations involving patient care. Miss Mary proudly serves in the role of president of the Broward County Alumni Chapter. Prior to that role, Miss Mary wore many leadership hats. She's coordinated programs to award thousands of dollars to help deserving students attend Florida A&M University. Under her leadership, the Broward Alumni Chapter initiated the first endowment in honor of Lieutenant Colonel Pearl Ferguson, one of the chapter's philanthropic superstars. Ms. Smith is presently on the FAMU NAA Executive Board as recording secretary. She also serves on the Budget, Scholarship, and Media Technology Committees. She's a dedicated worker in our church and a member of Alpha Kappa Alpha Sorority Incorporated. Ladies and gentlemen, please join me in saluting a gem in the field of community service, alumna my soror, Ms. Mary Smith.
Good evening. It is such an honor to receive this award, and I have to give all the glory to God. I don't take or accept anything by myself. I want to recognize all of the Broward County alumni. Would you please stand? And a lot of them drove here to be here tonight, and I would like to thank you. FAMU is what made me what I am today, and thanks to all of you, I have so many friends at FAMU. Thank you.
The investment of hard work paid off with great dividends for FAMU's honors graduate, alumna Tawana Monroe Ward. What a meteoric rise she's had in the corporate world since leaving the historic halls of Florida A&M University. Tawana's career path spans both corporate and startup environments. She is currently a vice president with Scripps Networks with responsibilities over content distribution, accounting, as well as managing the credit risk for their portfolio of advertising clients. Tawana is a life member of the National Alumni Association and served on the executive board for 6 years. She is also former chair of the FAMU Foundation. She is a regular supporter and contributor to Florida A&M University. She is active in the National Association for Multi-Ethnicity in Communications and Alpha Kappa Alpha Sorority Incorporated, the Links Incorporated, and the Knoxville Museum Guild. She was recently awarded Bronze Woman of the Year by Iota Phi Lambda for her career accomplishments and community involvement. And tonight she's being saluted by her alma mater for her accomplishments in the field of business. Ladies and gentlemen, please join me in saluting Miss Tawana Monroe Ward.
So that's what happens when you have friends who remember that you were the biggest Prince fan on campus. Wow, this is an incredible night, and I thank you for this award. Those who know me know that I love my husband, my family, my friends, who I consider family, and I love FAMU. I often joke with my family and say that coming to FAMU was the best decision that my parents and Dr. Mobley made for me. And truly it was. I feel that it was written for me to come to FAMU. Midway's in the house tonight. My grandfather was from Midway, Florida. I'm from Greenville, South Carolina. And once I accepted the offer to come to Florida A&M, I know I may be related to a lot of people in this room. He told me that he wanted to come to FAM, but he could not afford it. And he was one of the proudest ones. He was there for every homecoming, every opportunity when my parents came down to visit me at FAMU. He was there smiling, and he knew more people on campus than I did. So I accept this award on his behalf. He passed last year, but Papa, this is for you. Thank you so much.
Earl Eugene Williams had a flair for design that's indicative by his creative genius from days gone by. Mr. Williams is said to be the individual who created the iconic logo for the Florida A&M University School of Business and Industry and provided the FAMU Marching 100 drumhead designs for the last 43 years. He's very active in his community. He could not be with us tonight, but we ask that you kindly offer him a round of applause for his service as an honoree tonight, Mr. Earl Eugene Williams. Yes, ma'am. Our final award tonight. That was for me, because I made it, y'all. Our final award tonight is presented to a distinguished gentleman in his own right. Long before our gathering here tonight, his name will forever be etched in history as a soldier in the United States Army during World War II. He is Florida Agricultural and Mechanical University alumnus and proud veteran Steve L. Lewis. When the Japanese bombed Pearl Harbor on December 7, 1941, luring the United States troops into World War II, Mr. Steve Lewis was just a young, inquisitive senior at the All-Black Memorial High School in Palmetto, Florida. He was assigned to the 9th Cavalry Regiment at Fort Clark, Texas, one of the renowned Buffalo Soldier units. When the credits rolled on his courageous service to our country, Steve Lewis decided he wanted to be Rattler strong. In the spring of 1947, he earned a degree from then beloved FAMC. He later garnered a master's degree from the University of Northern Colorado, but the story doesn't end there. His awesome desire to make a difference brought him full circle as he journeyed and chronicled his life to return back home where it all began, in Palmetto, Florida. He entered the classrooms, teaching on the elementary, middle, and high school levels for more than 30 years. Mr. Lewis is a proud member of Kappa Alpha Psi Fraternity Incorporated, active in his church, and is a member, of course, of the FAMU National Alumni Association, Sarasota Managing Chapter. How blessed we are tonight, Rattlers and friends, to witness a living piece of history among the last of the Buffalo Soldiers, whose legacy of valor has left an indelible imprint not only on the sands of time, but also on our lives. Ladies and gentlemen, please stand, if you would, in honoring and saluting our military honoree, our proud veteran, Mr. Steve Lewis.
Shake it up, shake it up, move it in,
Since I'm the last one, I should say thank you and run back and sit down. But since I can't run back there, I guess I'm going to say a word. It was a pleasure for me to receive this award. When I heard about it, I really was upset because they still say I'm the last Buffalo Soldier alive. And I don't believe that. So I'm trying to look for some more. But I really I would like to say thanks the Lord for being able to come do this, because I'm 93. And I'm one of the people who say FAMC. That's all. We saying FAMC, I love it. We didn't say FAMC. And I remember our good friend Major, the lady in the lunchroom, was a lady, And I think we always never forget Major Patrick. And those were the good old days. So anyway, now the Buffalo Soldier, let me tell you about that. When I was in school, after the Japanese bombed Pearl Harbor, I didn't know anything about it. I was listening to the radio, and I was a senior in high school. And it said, Japanese bombed Pearl Harbor. I got some books to see where in the world was that. I found it in the book, and we went to school the next morning, and our principal at Memorial High School in Palmetto had all the students sit out on the porch, and we could hear President Roosevelt talk about the war. And he started by saying, everyone hates war, I hate war, and we don't say about what nobody will do. But one thing about it, they were getting the war again, because his motto was, the ship of the lip will sink a ship. He didn't have anybody taking no pictures, nobody broadcasting nothing, but the soldiers would go. Now after that happened, I went to school, and I was in FAMC. And guess what happened? They didn't have any black soldiers in the war, They couldn't find any. And Mrs. Roosevelt and Mrs. Bethune got with FDR and said, we need some black people in the service. So some congressman got on spot, said, well, let's get the enlisted reserve corps. Have all the soldiers in school and join the enlisted reserve corps, and they would march and practice and get back. They did it for 2 years. At the end of the second year, they closed it down, and all the boys went to the army. Everybody was a man, got on a bus, went to the army. And we all left FAMC and went to Camp Landing, and we all went on our way. So they said, the 9th Cavalry, that's when I wasn't the word, where is that? I said, what did you do there? He said, they have horses, that's the cavalry. But I had seen enough cowboys for you to know if cavalry was horses. So then I went. I'd never been near a horse. Hadn't seen them just walking. But I took the basic training, learned how to ride a horse. Then they didn't need the horses in France and Germany. They sent all the horses back to Kansas and made us a transportation corps. That means we went along, traveled along, and getting everybody ready to go up the front. And I went to Germany, France, North Africa, and all those places. And I didn't hear a gunshot. I didn't see nobody falling because I was 200 miles behind the line. But it was work because they had to fix up everybody that came by and send them to the front. So I did that for 3 years, 10 months, and 6 days. And so that ended that. But I came back and went to FAMC, and I went to school, and I began teaching. Now, I didn't hear anything about Buffalo Soldiers when I was in the service now. That's a cake or catch. The Buffalo Soldiers were the people who helped the people going west when they got to Idaho and those places. To keep the Indians from killing them all, they had some soldiers. And the reason why they're Buffalo Soldiers is because they're all but black, riding horses. And imagine now, a black man riding a horse, no shades, all mustache, and long hair. Now imagine somebody will come and see you got that on a horse. But the Indians call them Buffalo Soldiers. Because now you imagine the Maine, they look at the Buffalo South, the Maine and Buffalo South, and did it. So what I'm saying is, now when I was in the army, I didn't tell them about that, but after we got out and read the books and found out that we were Buffalo Soldiers. So, now there are, for example, Houston, this place has a very lovely monument, a building with Buffalo Soldiers on it. The Tampa has a unit for that, and they have the only soldiers group like that in the military parade, in the Gospel parade in Tampa. So you see that Buffalo Soldiers fancy now. I went downtown, I see them waving, and I stopped wearing the cap. Thank you. I said, so I don't wear the cap anymore. So they won't bother me. But other than that, I'm sorry I'm the last one. And I owe you the apology for talking too long. But I had to tell you about it. Now, I have to thank my good Kappa brothers from the Seattle Alumni Chapter, because they all wanted to come see me do this. But they couldn't make it because they all were teaching and never worked. So I had to come, and I brought my good friend moving with me, and he came along. And the reason why you all know about it, I had a nephew, when they put it in the news, see, I was voting one day, and I was the only black man there. And the guys wanted to know what I was there for, and I told him. I said, last morning when I voted last night, I voted for FDR. He stretched his eyes and went, who is that? And I told him that was Franklin Delano Roosevelt. So anyway, then he put it in the newspaper, and he put me on the front page of the Braden Herald. The first time in 100 years, somebody like me on the front page in the Braden Herald. And then someone saw it, and they wrote it to somebody else, and it got all to the United States. And then somebody sent it up to Tallahassee, and that's how I got the honor. So thank you for that. I'm glad I did it. and hope you all have a good night.
Congratulations once again, and thank you for blessing us, Mr. Steve L. Lewis. Thank you too, Rattlers, for allowing me to navigate your program tonight. I truly enjoyed it, and I'm humbly honored to be with you this evening. I'm going to release and relinquish the podium and the microphone into the very capable hands of your gala chair, the Queen, Ms. Doris, followed by presidential remarks, brief presidential remarks by the President, Mr. Tommy Mitchell.
I'm going to be very brief because everybody's spoken here tonight, and I want to thank each and every one of you for coming out to witness such an honored an occasion and to celebrate and to be a part of our honorees. These honorees, all of them, as I've read their resume, I just couldn't, if I had to pick one, I just would have to pick all of them because they are just truly, truly wonderful and great FAMUans. And I truly, myself, I am proud to be a FAMUan. I couldn't get my daughter to FAMU, and it's kind of a long story. She came all the way, she flew in from Atlanta to be with me, and her daddy drove 19 hours to Howard University because we were torn. He had graduated from Bethune-Cookman, and I from FAMU, even though I met him, and I conceived her on FAMU's campus. And I am so proud, and I'm so brave. I am so glad I did it. Thank you, and have a wonderful night.
Thank you, Queen. Wow. Okay. Nothing I can say but introduce this band and sit my butt down. First of all, let me quickly say, these brothers are bad. They came highly recommended from Ron Fry and some other Dallas chapter members. I flew out to Dallas in January to see them. Automatically, people outside of the door said, we're going to hire you right now. I think this Tom Joyner Cruz, all right, did a good job. So we need to go hard for about a good hour or so and just go for it, okay? I'm going to bring on President Mitchell for final remarks. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. This is a magnificent evening, and so I want to close by simply saying we need you to tell these stories. This is the real family. See, history is not depicting us like it should, and so you need to tell the fam story, and that's what will help more people support this institution and more children. If they hear this kind of stuff, there's no way they'd want to go anywhere else. So thank you very much for being here. Do what y'all normally do, take them pictures and put it on Twitter and let everybody know that we're in Houston having fun. So that next time when we come to Tampa, they will show up too. Thank you very much.
All the honorees, please meet out in the foyer for a photo. All the honorees.
And those honorees who would like to have your crushed